A Sri Lankan family who have been granted asylum in Australia have been split up following a negative security assessment by ASIO. The father remains in Villawood Detention Centre tonight, where he could stay for years. It's the 13th case since July last year where ASIO has intervened and given a negative security check to an individual who's already been granted refugee status. But it's the first time a family has been separated in this fashion. The man has no prospect of being released from detention and could end up being sent to another country. Steve Kinane reports.
After 19 months in immigration detention centres, 4-year-old Sati has been released. His third night of freedom is also a third night away from his father. He's in Villawood Detention Centre indefinitely. The reason? A negative ASIO assessment. Sati thinks his dad is at work. His mother can't bear to tell him the family could in fact be separated for years. Marlene says Sati wasn't even allowed to say goodbye to his father. Since July last year, 13 asylum seekers have been granted refugee status and then given a negative assessment by ASIO. But here's the catch. Because they're recognised as refugees, they can't be sent home, leaving them in limbo.
They will be left to languish in detention indefinitely, quite conceivably for the rest of their life, without knowing what it is, what information it is that supposedly makes them a risk or a danger to the Australian community, and without any ability to comment on that information, to challenge it. So we're looking at a situation where in many respects someone is charged, convicted and sentenced without even being provided with the information which was relied upon to come to that finding.
Marlene says no reason was given why her husband failed his ASIO security check. ASIO supplied the following statement to Lateline.
ASIO does not comment on individual security assessments. ASIO may undertake a further security assessment if sufficient additional information becomes available.
It is likely that Sati's father had some links to the Tamil Tigers. The Tigers fought a long and bloody civil war with the Sri Lankan military that ended in 2009. Marlene did not want to comment about whether her husband was a member of the Tamil Tigers. The UN, the US and the UK have all prescribed the Tamil Tigers, or the LTTE as they are also known, as a terrorist organisation. The Australian government has not followed suit. Terrorism expert Clive Williams says Tamils arriving in Australia pose little threat.
I don't think the people that are coming here from Sri Lanka, Tamil background, are likely to be a problem because there'll be, if they do have an LTTE association, they'd be low-level cadre anyway and not the sort of people that are likely to pose a problem for us.
The Minister for Immigration, Chris Bowen, was unavailable for an interview, but his office issued a statement which says,
"The migration regulations do not allow a protection visa to be granted to individuals who are the subject of an adverse security assessment. It is not appropriate for individuals who have been assessed as a risk to national security to be living in the Australian community, even where this involves separation from family members."
Lateline has been told that it's likely the courts will soon be required to rule on these matters.
Look, the government's position is that these adverse assessments are not reviewable. Time will tell whether that position is upheld in the courts.
So while the family weigh up their options, they face an uncertain future.
My dad didn't there.
அந்த புள்ளைய கப்பல்ல இவ்வளவு ஆபத்துகளை தாண்டி கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. இங்க கொண்டு வந்து 19 மாசம் இருந்தது. அதுக்கு பிறகு இப்படி வந்து பிரிச்சு வச்சிருக்காங்க.
Steve Kinane, Late Line.